Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Yes, this is last minute. Yes, it is. I did not prepare y'all. I did not. This is not gonna last too long. I just wanted to get this out. So the brother FD Signifier um created some content, put a video out speaking about what makes a man desirable. The other brother, Rochford James was in there, excuse me. A couple of other people that I've seen before, different lefty types. And these people are speaking about essentially they made it seem like if you try to be on some alpha stuff and chisel chin and looks maxing and whatnot, that you're more attempting to appeal to the ideal that men have about men's physique, not so much what women have about men's physique, right? So it and the brother FD Signifier had to admit like multiple times that he's not attempting to kind of insinuate any type of homosexuality, but he was getting really close to that, right? Like, y'all are not really trying to appeal to what women think and what women feel. Y'all are appealing to what men feel and think about men's physique, right? So there's that. Also, y'all realize, and for those of you that checked it out, I know many of you haven't. Y'all don't even know that he made. Well, no. Let me take that back. I'm the one with the tiny channel. Did Rochford James and FD Signifier and everybody that was on that just describe, excuse my language, we got to use profanity for this because this is part of the manosphere and the black manosphere. Did these Negroes really just describe alpha fucks beta bucks as a positive thing? What? By the way, they didn't use that terminology. FD probably knows that terminology. He described it without saying it. In other words, this is how the brother FD put it. Yes, some of these women, they find these type of physiques attractive and appealing, but these type of physiques, this type of thing is not what garners you long-term relationship. Nigga, we've been saying that, FD. We already know. That's much of the resentment in the black manosphere and in the overall manosphere. We call it alpha fucks beta bucks. Translation: women have fun with chisel chin Tyrone and chisel chin Chad, right? Giga Chad. They have fun with those guys at first, and then when it's time to get serious and have a relationship, we get them when they're resentful and when they've been passed around by a bunch of alphas and translation, right? Etc. etc. It's called alpha fucks beta bucks, which you described and you tried to put a positive spin on, Mr. FD Signifier. We've been talking about it for a decade plus, Mr. FD Signifier. Right? And shout out to the brother FD. I'm not gonna go in on him going too hard because I think he's trying to address manhood and masculinity in a certain way and some of the toxicity in a certain way. Although I disagree with this completely because it makes it seem like it's just a figment of your imagination. And women don't care about this. No, that's you. Maybe a handful of women, but that's not going to garner you what you're looking for. And that form of masculinity is obsolete anyway. Are y'all on drugs over there? So let me get this right. Dr. Jennifer Lundquist and Dr. Chantel Buggs say different, and they got PhDs in this. But all of y'all, white men and black men and Asian men included, are saying, no, that's not what it is. Huh. And then you blame it back on the patriarchy and then tell us not to talk about the women on top of that. Wow. Yeah. Wowzers. Right? Like I said, I get where FD, what he's trying to do, right? But y'all are being too disingenuous over there. Brother FD, you literally described alpha fucks beta books and didn't use the terminology, and you thought people like Mr. Z wasn't gonna catch that? Oh no, I caught that. Ain't nobody trying to deal with these women that done been to pass around for the alphas, and then they come and settle for us. Get the hell out of here. Right? Get out of here. And then this brand of masculinity is obsolete. Then what about all the women, no matter their age, screaming all over social media about it? What happened with that? or we're making it up. Okay, you know what? We're not even going to count the women 45 and older. All the women under the age of 40 yelling about this. We're not saying that these women won't marry a dude under 6 feet. They won't end up with a guy under 6 feet. But wait a minute, don't we have a decreasing birth rate and a decreasing rate in relationships and sex and intimacy for men and women? Huh. But yet men are making up what they say the women are on. Notice, women are who they are. They are who they are. Y'all keep on telling us, no, that's a figment of your imagination. That's not what they're asking for. That's a figment of your imagination. Now, let's be very clear what Mr. Z isn't saying. I agree with Rodsford. I agreed with FD. I agree with the others, white, black, and Asians on there, and South Asians on there that spoke about, like, if you have charisma or personality. You're talking about the top of the top of the top. The super funny, chubby guy that could still pull. The super cat. We grew up in the hood. We know these dudes. Dude is ugly as sin. He's still pulling you like, how the hell? Yeah, we're not talking about those guys. The short guy that all the girls around the way want. We're not talking about those guys. There's always been exception to rules. Like they brought up Prince. Exception to rules. That's half the reason we joke. That was Jamie Foxx's whole bit about Prince, is that he was an exception to the rule. Ooh, what dude you know can make that sound and still pull other than Prince? Working around here with assless chaps, who could pull that off? So you're mentioning the exceptions to the rules at the highest level as a way that, well, you don't have to adhere to this, and plus it's archaic anyway, and that's not what the women are on anyway, and it's more for men. You're more appealing to men than you are to women anyway. Have y'all asked the women? Did you ask the women? Oh, wait. Even Dr. Jennifer Lundquist, not so much Dr. Jennifer Lundquist, my bad. Even Dr. Chantel Buggs was speaking about how women be virtue signaling. Those are not the words she used. How when you ask them what they want, it's one thing, and then when you show them what they've been trending towards, it's another thing. This is looking real bad, y'all. Jesus Christ. I could see y'all coming at the manosphere neck. Okay, that's cool. You want to know why the black manosphere is going to stay alive and well? Because y'all are being a bit too disingenuous over there, and I'm being nice with the word a bit. Oh, well, that's 2 words. I'm being nice with a bit. So you describe alpha fucks beta bucks without saying it and make it seem like that's a good thing, right? Well, yeah, the alpha guys that are that are shaped like this, yeah, they might have access to these women in a certain way, but you get them later on. What? Who want her then? What truly makes a man desirable to women, we're talking about heterosexual men right now, is dependent on women. Mr. Z is not here to dictate to women what they should be attracted to. But what y'all are talking about, yikes. Right? And that doesn't mean that if you're not heavy set, you're doomed to loneliness forever. We're not speaking about that. But essentially telling men don't believe they lion eyes, because by the way, your whole FD segment was how long? Pretty much it was telling men don't believe your lion eyes. That's pretty much what you just said. You could have ended this in like 5 seconds. Don't believe your lying eyes, man. The women ain't really going after that. That's a figment of your imagination. Or only a handful of women go after that. It ain't really that serious. They ain't really checking for these chisel chin Tyrones and Chads like that, the Giga Chads like that. That's something that we think women find appealing. It's not that they actually find it appealing. It's men that find it appealing, or men find it more appealing than women do, even straight men. FD literally says when Captain America, the first movie of Captain America, when he's flexing his arms and when they're showing his chest and his pecs, that's more for men than women. What? Oh, okay. And we're in the bubble. I just want you to remember, they're saying that we're in the bubble. We're the ones in the bubble. I have a whole other commentary to speak about. I'm gonna really try not to really get in on this, because there's other things that were said and other people that were interviewed, and I wonder why y'all keep on pushing these people and their perspective on us. I'm really trying not to get into that. All right. But we're talking about 10 toes down heterosexual men over here. You know that, right? Like cisgender heterosexual men that like women, that were born girls that became women without surgery. You know that, right? I'm just saying. Okay, continuing. Okay, everyone. If this is what it is, look, I. Jesus Christ. If this is y'all getting at men in the manosphere and getting at their neck, train tracks, and telling them what they think women desire is not what women really desire, you gotta go speak to all the online dating people, all the people that write the books, that do the research, and go ask them about this and watch them tell you, yeah, women be virtue signaling their butt off. And there's something to be said about, I'm not gonna be, completely hyperbolic here. There is something to be said about, like Richard Reeves said, right? Your preferences and then your revealed preferences. So what you say you won't settle for, and then what you will settle for. Although I didn't like how Richard Reeves frames it, let's call it a thing. What you say you won't settle for, and then what you settle for out of desperation. That's a better way to phrase it. But yeah, right. This. Hey, shout out to all of you that's coming at the Manosphere neck, the Black Manosphere specifically. I agree. That doesn't, just because you don't have a particular air quotes ideal look to yourself, right? That doesn't mean that you are pushed out to the margins and you will never have a love of your life. You will never be deemed attractive by any woman. That is not what we're saying. I agree with that. That's not true. I've seen heavy set. I've seen short. I've seen extremely skinny, right? I've even seen socially awkward men with women. Occasionally with exceedingly attractive women. This is true. It's true. But once again, we're talking about the exception to the rule. And all of these guys are pretty much saying, when I stopped investing in a particular brand of traditional masculinity, that's when everything shut up for me. Right? So I became humorous, and that's what worked out for me. Okay. Right? Or I was into poetry, and that's what worked out for me. Right? I studied, I became, exceedingly educated in different things, and that's what worked out for me. And it does for some. And yes, we already know there's little niches where you are, and this is true, you are the guy in those spaces. You may not be the man in all spaces, but you are the man in these particular spaces. And there is some blurring of the lines in that to a certain extent. That's true. That's true. But like I said, describing alpha fucks beta bucks essentially, and then speaking about it in this very vague way and then not calling it what it is, that's what you did, FD. And you gotta know Mr. Z caught that instantly. You gotta know, right? And Joe says, slowly admitting what a sphere has already known. He's hoping to rebrand to turn the vehicle around. Too late. You see me? And Big Kev says, BreadTube lies and says that virility doesn't matter. Look, man. They pretty much said the alpha thing is not a thing. And now, if y'all ever heard, Mr. Z, I never label myself an alpha. I didn't get into that, right? I never got into the whole alpha thing. I never got too much into the high value man thing. Do I think there is a concept of high value man that men and women share? The women ashamedly, like they share it too. They know what it is, but they don't like to say it out loud. Yes, there is a such thing. Does Mr. Z necessarily label himself a high value man? No. I don't even reach the basic tenet of high value man. But do I think it exists? Oh, hell yes. Do women think it exists? Don't kid yourself. Yes. Don't kid yourself. And for FD and all of these others to pretty much say what we think of masculinity over here and what's desirable over here is archaic and it's pretty much going the way of the dinosaur. And what women need more now is emotional intelligence and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yawn. Meanwhile, everywhere you go, and there is an argument to be made about women, air quotes, needing men less. I don't know how true that is, especially with these prices and inflation. Okay, they need men less. Men are becoming more of an accessory. Then why are they screaming at the top of their lungs about the men they're not getting? And the value of the men that they can't attain or keep at least. What about that part? Right? This is, we're I think we're in this very weird place where these people, I don't know if they think they're ahead of the curve or they try to catch us up on game. I understand like attempting to speak to the young men like, hey, y'all might be doing this a little wrong or y'all might not really understand what's really going on. But I wonder if you actually take, and I'm gonna say that this is the type of thing I don't often say. Because I don't like to kind of go into this, but like I think y'all taking women at face value a little too much. You actually believe, like I said, there's what they say, that's what people say, and then there's what they really do and what they really desire, and what people actually desire in secret, and what people actually find appealing in secret. And I think y'all have it backwards. I think y'all think women have advanced in a way they really haven't advanced, even with the resources and the newfound education and the newfound positionality and the newfound backing of the institutions. I think y'all really think they don't care about these things that they clearly care about. That's why they're screaming about it. Right? I think y'all, that in that respect, I think y'all are doing this conversation an extreme disservice. Right? I think y'all are doing this conversation an extreme disservice by not admitting that it's not just 2, 5, 10% of women that find this particular look attractive or a particular brand of masculinity attractive. Because you are correct that there are different type of men that are so good at what they do that they don't have to be this traditional type of archetype, right? Of the idealized man. That's true. But once again, that's the extreme exceptions. For your everyday dude, he does have to play into the masculinity game. Not because men say it only in a vacuum. Y'all gonna see why there's a patriarchy in a minute, if that even still exists. I lost a lot of like FD did that really, as much as I disagreed with the brother, y'all saw when I spoke to him, it stayed pretty cordial. That whole alpha fucks beta bucks thing that he tried to pull and describe it as something other than alpha fucks beta bucks. By the way, he did. It's towards the beginning of the video, and he didn't say alpha fucks beta bucks. Those are not the words he used. But once you hear him speak, you're gonna be like, oh, he's describing alpha fucks beta bucks. And ain't no man in his right mind is trying to go after the alphas, right? And to pretty much insinuate, yeah, the women didn't really care about this. This is more you appealing to what you think the other men care about. Or no, sorry, saying that wrong. Women don't really care about this. Men care about this. You're appealing to what you think women care about, but really it's men that care about this six-pack, chiseled chin, strong jaw, looks maxing thing. And like, do I think that you should kill yourself trying to look like this and have this physique? Maybe not. Is there some conversation being had? Not really in the black manosphere. We're not doing the whole conversation about looks maxing in that way. That's more of a white manosphere and INCELS thing. But is there a conversation to be had about these guys being a little extreme with the rhetoric? Of course. Of course. But what y'all are pulling on the other side, oh no. Right? Y'all are doing way too much over there, right? I'm about to come to a close, but it's about that time for me to clock in a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to come to y'all with this. Um, and let me read Big Kev's comment actually. Far left regimes are notoriously misogynistic, right? And yes, far left, right? I do think that these things loop back together when you go too far left or too far right. You pretty much come right back to, you could pretty much touch each other on the opposite end of the circle to me. When you go too far left or too far right, right? I don't think it's I occasionally make the comment of like, you're so far right, you fell off the table and now you're on the floor. But in all honesty, I do think that these things loop around eventually, right? You go so far right, you're in the left, or you go so far left, you're in the right, right? But yeah, yeah, these people got to get it together. And the reason why I cover this is to show these people are having a conversation. I don't know if they're thinking about the everyday person, and I let me take that back. I think they are thinking about the everyday person. I don't think they really fully appreciate how much people say one thing and really it's something else. And I, I would love to hear FD Signifier speak to the young lady, and I keep on calling her a young lady. I don't remember her name. That was on Obsidian's live when Obsidian was speaking about Kim Foster, and the young lady was saying and she was more of a middle-aged lady, but still I call her young lady. The young lady was speaking about putting men in the temporary category because you want something else, right? You want this idealized dude and you can't get him or you can't keep him, and so you put other men, including whoever you're with, in the temporary man position. And I don't know if FD Signifier considers that there are women in relationships and are married to men because this is the best they can do. But their ideal is the chisel chin Tyrone. And if you ask them, they will never say it. And if their boyfriend asks them, of course they won't say it. And if their husband asks them, of course they won't say it. And I'm not saying that's all women. I'm saying it's more than what you think. Right? So that's what I came to y'all for. I get it, FD, and I see you. I understand what you're doing. There, I appreciate certain things that you're saying and doing. I get it. I get it. I still think you're a little out of touch, a whole lot out of touch, right? Because you don't fully appreciate how much people are virtue signaling and saying they're giving you like, oh yeah, I care about emotional intelligence, and I care about the man that's in touch with his feelings, and I care about the man that's tender and soft. And then you look at their list of ex-boyfriends. Yikes. You look at the guy they dating now, right? Or you look at what they really check their adult content history, we'll say, and look at what they find attractive or appealing, at least, right? I don't think we're doing this conversation justice. I don't think we're doing it justice because we're not taking we're taking one group of people at face value, and then the other one we're skeptical about what they're saying. We're suspicious of what they're saying. So we're suspicious about what the men are saying, and that we can investigate. But what the women are saying, oh no, we take that at face value. Right? And I might come with a part two. Actually, I'm probably gonna come with a part two in the morning. So y'all check out for that. But I got to go. All right, y'all. Love, peace, and chicken grease. I'll pause right here. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere. Excuse me. Go check out other Black Manosphere content. Go check out other non-Manosphere content. So maybe y'all don't sound like these brothers. And the other people that were there wasn't just Ransford and FD. There's white guys, Asian guys, and whatnot. And like I said, I don't think that I know more than them. I just think they're way out of touch, right? I don't think it's a lack of intelligence or education. I just think they're way out of touch, right? PK said that's called faith. Trump said Tyrone with the mega bone. With the third leg. Tripod. Tyrone the tripod. Oh, man. And on that note, I'll end it right here. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Mr. Z out. All right, everybody.